All right, let's get into it. We all think we've got a handle on what high blood pressure is, right? It's that number your doctor reads out. But what if that number isn't the whole story? What if it's just the opening line? Today, we're going to go behind the numbers and explore the hidden world of hypertension.
So, let's start right here. 47.2%. Just take a second and look at that. What does that number even mean to you? Maybe the percentage of adults over 60 with high blood pressure? Or smokers, maybe. I mean, whatever it is, that is a huge chunk of people.
And this is what is so incredible. That 47.2%, that's the rate of high blood pressure found in a study of pediatric liver transplant patients. We're talking about kids. This one fact just completely shatters the stereotype of who gets high blood pressure, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
So it just makes you wonder, right? If this is happening to children in these kinds of medical situations, who else is walking around at risk? And how much do any of us really know about what our own blood pressure is doing?
And that brings us to our first big idea. Because before we can get into all the details, we have to appreciate the massive scale of what really is a silent epidemic. Now, just look at the spread here. For a general population like adults in Ukraine, studies show it's nearly half, almost 1 in 2 people. Then you look at a high-risk group at a primary care clinic and boom, it jumps to almost 2/3 when you measure it accurately. And for kidney transplant recipients, it's practically a given. We're talking up to 93%. This is not some small niche problem. It is everywhere.
And here is the silent part of the epidemic. One study found that 44% of people who definitely had high blood pressure had never, ever been diagnosed before. They were just walking around, completely in the dark, and that is exactly what makes this condition so dangerous.
So, if that one-off reading you get in a clinic can miss so much, how do we get the real story? Well, this leads us to a really crucial point. We have to start looking beyond the 4 walls of the doctor's office.
The key to doing that is a tool called Ambulatory Blood Pressure Monitoring, or ABPM for short. You can think of it like a little blood pressure reporter that follows you around for a full 24 hours. It takes readings when you're working, when you're eating, even when you're sleeping. It gives you the complete, unvarnished truth of what your blood pressure actually does. It's the gold standard for a very good reason.
And this table just perfectly shows why that 24-hour picture is so vital. See, with ABPM, we learn that blood pressure isn't just high or normal. It actually has different personalities, or what scientists call phenotypes. You've got sustained hypertension. That's when it's high at the doctor's and high at home. Then there's white coat hypertension. You know, your pressure spikes at the doctor's office, probably from nerves, but it's normal the rest of the time. And then there's the really sneaky one, masked hypertension. This is when your pressure looks perfectly fine at the doctor's, but it's actually high the other 23 hours of the day.
And just look at how common these are in one high-risk group. Masked hypertension, the one your doctor is most likely to miss, made up nearly 30% of all cases. That's almost as common as the classic sustained high blood pressure. And that is a huge, huge problem because you can't possibly treat something you don't even know you have.
I absolutely love this analogy. It just nails the danger, doesn't it? You think it's a calm, normal day because your reading at the clinic was fine, but meanwhile, there's this dangerous hidden heat wave building pressure on your entire system, and no one is even watching.
Okay, so this leads to the next logical question, right? Who should be on the lookout for these hidden patterns? Who is actually at risk here? Well, the answer is probably a lot more people than you'd think.
Seriously, you can just forget the old stereotype that this is just an older person's disease. Not at all. Studies are showing high rates in young adults, the elderly, pregnant women, people with obesity or sleep apnea, and of course, as we saw right at the start, post-transplant patients. It cuts across pretty much every demographic you can think of.
Now let's drill down on one of those risk factors with another really powerful number, 2.1 times.
What that number means is that a person with obesity has a 2.1 times greater risk for a dangerous morning blood pressure surge. So this isn't just about having blood pressure that's kind of high all day. This is about a specific, really high-risk pattern where your pressure just skyrockets the moment you wake up. This is exactly the kind of critical detail that a single reading in a clinic is almost guaranteed to miss.
Okay, so we've established the problem is huge, it's complex, and it's often hiding in plain sight. But here's the good news. Our ability to manage it is getting so much smarter. So let's talk about the solutions.
This case study is just a perfect example of what smart management looks like.
You have a 75-year-old patient, their blood pressure is totally out of control, even though they're taking a bunch of medications every single morning. So what was the solution? It wasn't more drugs. It was simply moving one of their existing pills to bedtime. That one tiny change dramatically improved their blood pressure. It's all about working smarter, not just harder.
So you can see the modern approach to this is a whole toolkit. It all starts with getting a real diagnosis using that out-of-office monitoring. From there, you can personalize the treatment to the specific type of hypertension someone has, you can optimize the timing of their meds, you can help make sure they're actually taking them, and of course, you bring in the essential lifestyle changes.
And you know, technology is becoming a complete game changer here. Studies are now showing that using digital tools for remote monitoring and personalized coaching leads to real, sustained improvement. In one study, for over a year and a half. This really is the future of managing chronic diseases like this.
And all of this brings us to the path forward. We've seen that hypertension is so much more than one number. It's a dynamic, deeply personal story that's unfolding 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Look, if you take only one thing away from our conversation today, let it be this: understanding your specific type of hypertension, whether it's sustained, white coat, or that sneaky masked kind. That isn't just interesting trivia. It is the absolute, critical first step to actually getting it under control and protecting your health for the long run. A generic approach just doesn't cut it anymore.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Your blood pressure is telling a really complex story every single day. The question is, are you listening to the whole thing?